Hey everybody, Vince here. Just a little update on what's going on with me and my homeless adventures. Jack's not with me, he's at my sister's right now. I was hoping to get him back today and get a motel for tomorrow night. It's Sunday. So I got up early this morning, about 6 o'clock, walked about 2 miles from where I was staying last night at my friend's place, because I can't stay there in the day. And like I said, I wanted to get this hotel room for tonight. I wanted to get it for tonight and tomorrow night, but I don't know if I'm even going to have enough to do that. But anyway, so I go to the motel, and first of all, she doesn't even want to check me in until 10 o'clock, but I finally convinced her to go ahead and let me check in. But then she wanted to charge me the weekend rate, which is about $72, and you know, that'll make it where I won't have enough for 2 days. It'd be, you know, I've only got so much cash. And online on their website, it shows the room for $53. And so I figured what I would do was come over here to Walmart, which is probably another quarter mile that I had to walk this morning. It's already hot out here. To put some money on my cash card so I could try to just book my room online to get that $53 amount. So came over here to Walmart, and wouldn't you know it, the money center don't open until 10. So now I've got to sit here under a tree, I like these trees, outside of Walmart, and wait for the money center to open so I can try to book this room for $53. And you know, it's one of those things where, you know, when you're homeless and don't have a vehicle, it's just walk over there, walk over here. I'm just so sick of walking, I can't stand it. But I did get back to work at the car wash. I had a fairly good day yesterday. It would have been better if, you know, I was only in the front for half the day, and in the front is where you get the tips and make most of the money. And I was only able to be out there half the day, but hoping to go back there tomorrow. It's about 50% chance of rain tomorrow, but hopefully I'll be able to get in there and make a little bit of money, because my big goal is to at least earn my paycheck, because my paycheck, if I get a full week, my paycheck will cover a room for a full 7 days, and that way I can hopefully get things rolling and get to work and be able to stay in the motel for, you know, indefinitely until I can find me another place to stay, which is good, would be great, because it's just, you know, I haven't had a shower in about 3 or 4 days now, and you know, working out the car wash, get pretty hot and sweaty, so I'd like to get a shower. Yeah, I've see what else is going on here. You know, like I said, I'm just sitting out here at Walmart, wait for the, and, you know, who knows if I'll even be able to get this rate. I don't know. There's one woman up here at the motel that I've been dealing with, and she's been really good to me and helped me out, and that's unfortunately not who's working today. And why this lady that's working today keeps trying to give me the weekend rate on a Sunday, I don't know. But it says online that the rate is the week rate, $53. So I'm hoping I can figure that out. Hoping to at least get to visit Jack today. Hopefully I can get my sister to bring him down and stay with me for a little while, because I really miss him. I was missing him like crazy yesterday. I miss him all the time, basically, but you know, he's older, and I don't know how much more time I have to spend with him, and it just breaks my heart that if something was going to happen to him, and you know, me be away from him, it's horrible. But see what else. I applied, I haven't heard back from Cracker Barrel. But they weren't supposed to get in contact with me until next week anyway, so. But I filled out a few applications. I've got an interview at Longhorn Steakhouse, which isn't far from where I'm at right now. And so I secured an interview with them on Thursday. So that would be pretty good if I could get on Longhorn. My goal is to try to work the car wash in the daytime and get some kind of night job. It's going to be rough because I work 9 hours at the car wash. And when you get done from doing that all day, you're pretty wore out, especially if we're busy. But I'm just going to have to do what I have to do. But the car wash, if it rains, we just don't work, and I just can't afford. I can't afford one day of not working. It's Sunday, and it's a dead day. Car wash ain't open, so there's no money for me to be made today. That's why I was planning on just getting this hotel room. But other than that, there's not a whole lot more to update you guys on. These videos aren't very entertaining, I'm sure, but it's just kind of documentation of the struggles of what it's like to be out here and be homeless. It's just I'm sitting here right by Walmart. I don't even know if I'm allowed to sit here. From what I read online, you could get in trouble for just loitering anywhere around this town. So I've been trying to stay low key and not just be hanging out anywhere. I can hang out around that motel because they pretty much know me, and I'm going to be getting a room there, so I can hang out over there, and I got some coffee this morning over there. But hungry as a bear, haven't had anything to eat since yesterday in the afternoon, so I'm hungry. You burn up a lot of calories washing cars, so I'm pretty hungry, but I really don't have money for food right now because I'm trying to get this room situated. But my main goal today is just to get a room and hang out with my dog for a little bit. I don't know if it's going to happen. I wanted to get the room for 2 nights and leave him with me and leave him in the room so I could go to work tomorrow. But like I said, there's a 50% chance of rain tomorrow, so I might not even be able to work tomorrow. And if that's the case, then I'd be better served if I just got the room for the night and let my sister watch my dog, Jack, for tonight again, which I know she's about at her wit's end. She's got a dog up at her place, and it's just it's not very easy for her to deal with my dog too. But I wanted to if it rains tomorrow and I don't get to work, then I probably will just save the money that I was going to spend on a room for tomorrow night and go over there to that Journey home and try to get my ID, because I would have money for that, and it's going to take me a while to do that, to go over there and talk to them and go to the DMV and all that, but I need to get that done. So if I don't work tomorrow, then then that's what I'll be doing. You always have to make good use of your time and try to get things done. And it's depressing and really just hard to do, to get it seems like everything is just so hard to get accomplished, just like this motel room. Most people just get online, book a room, and you're done, and it's just, but when you're in my situation and you're homeless, as you can see, I'm sitting here with my backpack and just walking everywhere you go. It makes things a lot rougher. And another thing, I left my 2 bags of clothes over at this guy's house that lives in the trailer park that I just got kicked out of, and you know, I assumed he was a good guy, and you know, we were pretty friendly, and so I left. He said it would be okay to leave my bags over there, but now he's kind of ignoring me for some reason. I have no idea why. I've messaged him a couple of times and told him that I wanted to come over there today and just get my clothes, because you know, I've figured out somewhere else I can keep my clothes that would be more accessible to me. And he's just kind of not messaging me back. So I'm going to have to, I guess, just go over there and try to get my clothes. Hopefully I'm going to do that today, because I don't have any clean clothes to wear. It costs about $7-8 to wash your clothes at the motel, and I don't really have the money for that either. So I mean, it's just an ongoing thing in the life of a homeless guy. But other than that, there's not a whole lot to be updated. I'll let you guys know what's going on, you know, probably tomorrow or something. Like I said, I know these videos aren't really too entertaining, don't have too much entertainment value, but it's not very entertaining being homeless in the first place, because all you're doing is walking around, sitting around, and just waiting for something to happen. But I am taking a proactive view on everything, and just trying to stay proactive, and trying to accomplish as much as I can. And you know, like I said, I was at that motel at like 6 o'clock this morning, because I know they got free coffee at 6 o'clock. So I just walked on over to, it was about a 2-mile walk. I started off at about 4:45 and walked to the motel, got me some free coffee, sat out on the wall at the motel. I filled out like maybe 4 or 5 applications, got an interview for Longhorn on Thursday, filled out some other, sent my resume to a couple of other places that are pretty close. So, you know, maybe one of these places will, you know, get me in and get me hired, you know, and then you got to figure out the timing to all that, because any one of these jobs, like if I got a job at Longhorn, it could be 2 weeks before I got a paycheck. So I'm really trying to juggle all this, and it's hard when you're just living day to day to day. But hopefully, you know, I'm going to get that work. There's people that are homeless that are fine being homeless. You know, I've met people out here in Murfreesboro that, you know, I'd ask them, you know, how long. There's one guy, he's been homeless for literally 9 years, and basically sleeping under a bridge for 9 years. 9 years. I mean, I couldn't imagine sleeping under a bridge for 9 years. And I asked him, I said, and he's had good jobs before. He's about my age, 55. He's had good jobs before. He's worked in factories, so it's not like he couldn't go get a good job and, you know, secure some kind of housing. And it's weird. I asked him, I said, well, you know, why don't you do that? Why don't you go out and get you a good job and get you a place to live? And his answer was baffling. He said, well, I'm just not that motivated. And to me, it's crazy, because to me, hunger is one heck of a motivator, you know, and I can't stand to be hungry, and I hate being outside. I don't like being in the grass, bugs, especially this time of year when it's hot. I mean, I just don't understand it. But there are people that are, I guess you'd say, just professional homeless people. You know, you see them pushing carts around, and I just can't do that with my life, you know. I want more for myself, and, you know, of course, I've got my dog, too, and I just being homeless for 9 years is just not my thing, you know. I was homeless for about, I think the longest I've ever been homeless was in Tampa, and I was probably homeless for maybe a year, a little more than a year, or something like that. And, you know, back then, I was younger. I was in my 30s, and I had a girlfriend with me, and you know, me and her, we just kind of thought of it as an adventure. You know, we were staying at Tent City and Tampa, Florida, and it was just a kind of an adventure for us. And so, you know, it's a lot different now. You know, I'm older, and you know, I don't want to do this. And you know, you got all kind of difficulties when you're homeless. You know, such as, you know, you could get in trouble for loitering. You could, you know, there's other homeless people out here that might try to take advantage of you. There's just all kinds of situations that, you know, I don't want to be in. You know, nobody should want to be in these situations. But it's when you're homeless like this, people look at you different. You know, and I'm not used to that. You know, I was a cabin installer for 8 years with Lowe's, and you know, it's a whole different thing. Whenever I would go to these customers' house, you know, they respected me and very happy to see me, and you know, just, oh hey Vince, how you doing? I'm so glad you're here. You know, and you just get a certain amount of respect. And when you're homeless, people just look at you like you're just dirt, basically. I mean, they just really just look at you like you're a piece of crap. And that's hard on your ego, and it really gets you down. And it does get me down on top of everything else with my dog and everything. It's really hard, and it's hard to keep yourself upbeat. These videos that I'm making, you know, that's another reason I'm making these videos, is just to kind of keep my spirits up and you know, document everything. Like I said, you know, if I wasn't making, what else do I have to do but sit here and make a YouTube video? I gotta wait, what is it, another hour and a half to just go in here and put money on my money card. And I don't even know for sure if that's going to work. It says on the app, on the motel app, that the booking cost is the week rate, which is like $20 cheaper. So that's my goal, is to try to get that week rate. And she wouldn't do it for me when I'm at the desk, but they're showing it on the thing. So that's my goal, is to you know, put money on my card so I can book it online. Other than that, I really don't know what I'll do. You know, I'm not going to pay that extra. You know, I just can't afford to pay $80 for a room for the night. And you know, especially if it's going to rain tomorrow and I'm not going to be able to work. So I really don't even know exactly what I'm going to do today, which is horrible, because, you know, I really like to get something to eat and a shower and hook up with Jack and, you know, just be with him for a while and love on him. Would probably pick my spirits way up. Of course, if I have to let him go back to my sister's tonight, it'd be a real bummer. But, and I'm sure it'll be a bummer for her too. As much as I want him back, she doesn't want him there. I mean, you know, because it's not that she doesn't like my dog. She loves Jack, but you know, she's got a dog where she's at and a cat where she's at. So it's not really easy dealing with it all. But she's been a great help. You know, she's going to come down here later on today, and we're going to go try to get my clothes from this guy. I don't even know what's going on with that. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to have to end up calling the law to go over there and get my clothes, because the landlord over there, he told that guy that I wasn't allowed at his place, not even to visit. I don't know why. You know, the guy he said, well, what, was he a bad tenant? And the landlord said, no, he wasn't a bad tenant, but he broke the rules. Which I guess the rules are, you know, I didn't pay the rent on time, so I guess that's his rule. So he doesn't even, the landlord doesn't even want me on the property. So, which is fine. I don't want to be on the property, but the guy over there has my clothes, And so I don't know what I'm going to do there. I'll probably update everybody on that. If it's a big old deal, I'll definitely be updating you guys on it. I might even take a video of it if something crazy happens with that. But yeah, other than that, that's my situation. Sitting under a flipping tree again, waiting for Walmart to open. Then I have to walk 3/4 of a mile back over to the motel and try to get a room. But I'll try to update you guys again whenever something good's happen. Hey, this is Vince signing out. Talk to you soon. Peace and love.